Hello everyone, welcome to the Rage Traders NRL Supercoach YouTube video. Sorry for the delay, but it kind of clicked to me that I wanted to wait until Origin had finished before I did the video, because I kind of felt like if any major injuries happened, and I did a video prior to Origin, it would be a bunch of kind of like what ifs, and I didn't want to go with what ifs. I want to go with what I saw and reasons to hold certain Origin players that you might have traded or are looking at trading at the moment, i.e. Payne Haas, and a multitude of other ones. We are going to do a bit of a recap on the week, and I know you may have watched a bunch of videos maybe already about essentially what's happened, what's gone down, but I'll try and make that as quickly as possible. I do have a few pods also I'm going to go through. We'll talk about Origin. We'll start off with that because that is the most recent news. We'll talk about team lists as well. And obviously battling how many players you have this week, setting up for the upcoming major buy round as well. And basically what I'm looking at doing also for trades, which is, it feels like to me, the toughest week at the moment, where I've just been sort of, I wouldn't say lost, but just deciding really whether I want to push the limits and get like GUTHO and Tedesco in, trade Haas, and go really aggressive, or kind of sit back and mellow down on my trades a bit now. So that's what I'm kind of leaning towards and thinking about consistently and constantly, to be honest with you, because it's going through my brain. But let's get straight into it. Holy moly. Guacamole, did I have a great week? I'll move this over here. Does this work? Yes, it does. Beautiful. Suspicious tomatoes. 1,127 was my score. I ranked 295th in the actual round rank, which was up 45,000 spots, which is absolutely massive. And I'm now 2,908 in overall rank, which is very, very nice to see. And I went up 3,606 spots. Now, one thing I did look at is the overall players and sort of who's coming first and how far I was behind. And I think I'm about 1,000 points behind. So that's, I don't know how I feel about that, because I haven't actually, you know, this is my second season in Supercoach. So I'm learning things obviously quickly. And understanding what I need to do trades wise, but is this the point now where we really push and try and close the gap? I really want to look at people like GUTHO, Teddy. So yeah, that's something we'll get into. But very, very happy. I did have Fletcher Sharp as my vice captain. I went straight into looping that. Nearly traded out Lucas and put Turbo in. I had the trade done. It was boosted. I did 4 trades. Got a picture of Lucas hamstring. Then got another picture of Lucas, it being fake news. And before the Manly game, because I know I spoke about this on the Supercoach Experience with Savs, where we did a little wrap up. It was before the Eagles game. So then before the Eagles game, I went, nah, I can't do this. This is way too many trades. I'm boosting for no reason, and I'm trying to bank on Turbo having a big score. I don't like it. It doesn't feel right. So then I reversed that trade. Felt absolutely great when I saw Turbo's score, to be honest, and that he wasn't 100%. And then Lucas pops off for a massive score as well. So that is exactly some of the things where I feel like maybe last season I overtraded and tried to chase these like draws and points, and I don't want to do that now as well. But yeah, very, very happy with where I am sitting. Who knows which way it goes, right? I could go deeper, or I could slide all the way out to 10,000, 20,000, but I'm very, very happy with where I am at the moment. And let's get into it. First, let's talk about the Origin. I'm a Queensland supporter. Congrats to New South Wales. They absolutely deserved it. They were the better team from the get-go. It really did feel like it was just a forward difference, not to like hate or say that Tino's crap in any way, but it just felt like we had 2 bazookas and New South Wales had like 6 bazookas, and it was like, okay, it's just way too much force. Like, I really think, and I know this isn't like the difference of the game, but I think Horsburgh should have been there. I also thought Harry Grant had a horrible game. Like, it was really bad, especially for someone as elite as him. Again, I don't like putting blame on one person, but when we really had a few opportunities in the first half, there was one play where Harry Grant just randomly kicked it from dummy half. It did absolutely nothing. The offense wasn't on click as what you'd think it would be for Queensland, and I think we may see Horsburgh come into this team. We also may see Dearden come in and play earlier minutes or just be in the starting lineup, to be honest with you. Val Holmes, his defense is just awful. I just do not rate his defense. He made some horrible reads this game that didn't even need to be forced, but this is not any excuse. New South Wales, pure class, deserved the win. Lomax was amazing. Payne Haas was amazing. This game, if you looked at this game and you were like, oh my God, I traded Haas last week, far out. You kind of scared. He gets player of the match. He could be very, very nasty this weekend. Whether he's a trade or not, we'll get into that. But shout out to New South Wales. It's going to be very tough for Queensland. If we win at New South Wales home ground, bloody hell, that would be massive. But I will definitely say that Robert Toyer was a great pick from Billy Slater. He looked really, really good. It was more our other edge defense where it was Val Holmes, Hammer. I think it's Coates on that side as well. I think that could be wrong. No, I think I'm wrong on that. But yeah, that's the side they were pushing, and we were pushing their left side. But yeah, it is what it is. Great game of footy. Great to have Origin period back. So yeah. All right, let's get into it, lads. Obviously, put your comments below about your score, what you're looking at doing for trades this week. We know now that there's no major injuries from what we can see in the Origin. Everyone got through unscathed, which is great news. And I don't think, the people that have like Hudson Young, I think he can, play a full 80. I mean, came off the bench. There's no worries. I think you should be very, very scared if you don't have Nathan Cleary now, because I think he will back up. He is a huge captain choice. He just was so good this game in the Origin, and they need to win. So just be ready for that. That could be something that really, really puts you in a position where you're like, wait, did I actually trade out this person, Cleary, for no reason? And yeah, it could bite you, but we'll wait and see. And let's get into the recent scores. Why am I having a mind blank of where to go? No, we're good. All right, so going to be a bit of a long one today, but let's start. I'm going to try and keep this recap as quickly as possible because I know you guys have most probably seen a lot of other ones, but I do want to give you the information that I gathered from these games because I try and watch every single game when I can. Very wet one here. Hugely wet. I wouldn't lean. Look, Farmworth gets a late try. He always gets late tries for some reason. He also was apparently sick this game and potentially wasn't going to play the game. So a very good effort by him. Bulldogs, you thought they were just going to dominate this game or just at least win comfortably, especially with Burton being there, and it was just absolutely insane. Hopboy, great if you have him. Congratulations on that. I wouldn't read too much into that. Connor Tracy, very bad again. Honestly, nothing massive besides Curran here, but I think with, Preston coming back, maybe just wait and see. I think it might be a tiny bit too late on Curran with the bye here now, 78 break even. Don't go into that. Kick out, bit underperforming, especially being named captain this game. You thought he would have a bit more impact. He didn't. And Dolphins just played really good footy, to be honest with you. And once the landslide with Dolphins occurs, it's very hard to stop. It's kind of like a Melbourne Stormish landslide where you just can't actually find a way to stop it and sort of band-aid it. But yeah, good on them because they play very up and down footy, but when they're on, they're really on. So nothing much here. I wouldn't go heavy into Graham. Just might be a bit of a trap there. I think a lot of people have the same hookers at the moment. Starling gets the 1 week ban. I don't know how Tarpanay or Horsburgh, one of them didn't get a suspension, so that's crazy. Talking about bans. Yeah, just a really, really bad Supercoach round for Bulldogs, and congrats on the Dolphins, 44-8. Eels versus Sea Eagles. Well, I was super scared. I also had in my trades Garrick and Olakuatu. More so Garrick pulled out of that, which it seems to will be working well with me on my decisions. Hopoate, huge if you brought him in. Huge if you've had him. Really, really nice to see. Jazz Tavega, that's also huge. Turbo still gets a 72. You're not mad at that, but obviously now he's out for this week. Do you hold him? Most probably. If we go look at our draw here for Manly, it's coming into a nice period for them, and this is what you would hoping. Sorry if this looks absolutely horrid. I don't know why it's showing like this, but we're looking at them losing to Para, obviously, into Broncos, Newcastle, Gold Coast. So you're hoping that you get Turbo back here for Newcastle, Gold Coast by West Tigers, Souths. That's what you're really looking for. I don't think he's going to be chosen in Origin. It's more about his injury. So if he's not listed the following week, I think you have to move him. You can hold him if you want, but you're just having someone in a fullback spot and not achieve you points, and that gets pretty hairy. Iongi, I still have Iongi in my team. I'm super happy with that. The crazy part about this game, in all honesty, is Hawkins just absolutely outshined Brooks in terms of just halves itself. I know Brooks is a 5'8", but you just thought that Brooks would kind of step up here, take control of the game. And it's not really a good sign when DCE is leaving the team, and basically you see this from a team without DCE. I think Manly have a lot of work to do, especially with Turbo only getting older. And to be honest with you, it could start looking very bad for Manly if they don't get some good signings or good plays. The good thing for them is they have Jamal Fogarty coming in, who I think is an absolute perfect fit for them. I just think Luke Brooks is not. I don't think he should be there. I just think they need to get another player. He doesn't do enough. Let's not talk about that. Let's talk about Supercoach. But in a team when you could have an injury to DCE, I think this is where the Supercoach points for certain players drop off, and we have to be very wary of that. 51 for Garrick, Olakuatu 42. Very average scores, and without DCE, there's going to be less ball going to the right side, and then Turbo back, who likes to go left. So that all played its part. Riley Smith, happy with the 54 from the Eels. Dylan Walker, 66, which is pretty massive. Taking a lot of shine from Hopgood, but Hopgood does get a try this game and gets 79. I wouldn't read into that too much. The only crazy thing about Hopgood, I cannot believe I'm saying this, he's got a 25 break even at 439,000. That is absolutely insane to say. Sam Rani also gets a try, 67. You can go him if you want. Again, I feel like it's a bit of a trap. Maybe it's just a bit of a money make. Really, the most disappointing thing here is Dylan Brown in a game where the Eels score 30 points, has 23. Has he checked out and he's just like, get me tonight, I'm kind of over this season? That's just really weird. Not even like a try assist, anything crazy good. Yeah, really weird. Well, he may have had a try assist. I actually don't know the stats, but just 23 is so low in a team that scores 30 points against the Eagles. Big talk here, and I think we'll leave it for later. There's a bit of a pod here that we can look at. But nothing else much from the Eagles. Maybe Cooler, but I think Hopewadi is your play if you go to someone. Just know that he is going to fullback now. Whether that gives him less opportunity at scoring and more opportunity at like creating, I would say so. So just be aware of that. If we look at Manly, once again, they have Broncos, Newcastle, Gold Coast by West Tigers, South. So you'd think when a Turbo comes back, it just goes back and reverts to where Hopewadi was. But yeah, a very nice 100 from Hopewadi. You're very happy with that. Also, Jack Williams, 488,000 with -1 break even. I think he got a try this game for memory. Just a great player, great base, doing work. The problem is I don't think that Eels have a great draw for memory. Yeah, so look, they come into Penrith away. With the way that Cleary, To'o played tonight, I just cannot see Penrith losing this game. into Bulldogs away into bye. So I'd be planning for round 16 if you are targeting any type of player from Eels. But even if you're targeting like a low max, it might have to be after Origin period. But yeah, there it is. The Eels win 30-10 against the Sea Eagles. Next, Panthers versus Knights. Knights win 25-6. Lucas and Fletcher Sharp, absolutely huge, both in my team. I cannot complain about that. Look, very low scores for Panthers in a sense, but Lindsay Smith still holds his own at 62. Blaze was really bad this game. I'll say it over and over again. I do not think he's a 5'8". I don't think he's a half. I think he's best at fullback. And obviously he can't take Dylan Edwards' spot. I think they're trying to force him being what he is. I mean, I don't know his history on where he's played, but I've seen him play at fullback and I feel like he's much better there. So yeah, I don't know if this is going to be something where maybe he does leave in the future or they're just not happy with where he is and things change, but I would have been very, very curious to see how they maybe like get Cole and Schneider in and then had Blaze at the fullback just to sort of see things. But they didn't. Gagai was kicking this game also, 72, which is huge. Gamble 80, massive, but I don't think that's a consistency we'll be seeing. Kai Paul, you know what he does, 50-65. That's where he sits, but still happy with that if you have him. Nothing much else from the Knights, to be honest with you. Hopefully you had the VC or C on Sharp or Lucas in this one. And yeah, that is it there for the Knights and Panthers, 25-6 to the Knights. Roosters versus Sharks. Most probably, I'd say this or the Bulldogs game was the biggest upset. I don't know. This is just the upset round, to be honest with you. But Ero 103, just an absolute beast in a side where you lose by so many points, 42-16, and he still gets 103. You love to see it. Hines 68, AFB 55, McGuinness 71, who's randomly just getting really good scores when everyone's suddenly trading him in with the hooker situation. That's worked out well for you for now. Mulatalo 37, pretty low here. Nothing else besides obviously maybe pointing out Nikra and Ramian. Nikra 42, Ramian 35, not nice at all. Yeah, but let's talk about the Roosters because it's getting to the point where it's getting scary of not owning Tedesco, and I know we're talking about waiting for them to verse the Raiders, have the bye, then get him. I'm so scared to watch this Raiders game this Roosters game on the weekend against the Raiders. I just feel like he can go 130 plus in this game. Raiders have been, although they're in form, they have been showing signs of just being a bit ill-disciplined. If you did watch the Warriors game, which we'll get into, they were just giving away so many penalties. Yeah, I don't know how Raiders are going to hold the swag of Roosters against Allianz. Roosters are really good at creating overlaps. Tedesco has just been comfortably solid. I think this could be a 20 to 30 point Roosters score where they just get to that amount. Whether they win or not, I don't know. I think they will. Mark Nawa, I'm just going to call him Marky Mark. I'm not even going to go there. Was incredible. The thing is, do I think he's a must-have? No. I think he's an amazing watch. I think he's getting to the point where, like, I don't know how Iro got absolutely stepped by him. If you saw the game, Iro was like, Mark wasn't even moving, and then he just did like a split-step jump, and then randomly somehow got around Iro. Now, the only reason I'm mentioning this was because literally it was in like the last minute and a half. Mark's score wouldn't have been that great if this random play didn't happen. Now, he's versing the Raiders, and they go into a bye. I think we hold off and we just play him coming into the after the bye. Look, I can't see him getting 80 or 90 or 100. If he does, I mean, so be it. But I'm not going to break apart my team just to get someone who was at like 30, 40 points for a lot of the game and sort of just like sat there. His score looked a bit meh and then got a nice late sort of points boost. That's the same with Tedesco. Tedesco actually got a late try. And I'm not saying he didn't play well. It was just one of those games where a lot of things were happening around him and he was, yes, having a great game, but it just wasn't relating to Supercoach points for him. But my gosh, even though he has a 151 break even, I'm scared. Like, I won't be shocked if he actually beats that or gets like 110. So we'll see how it goes. The one thing I'm riding on here is that Raiders are just an informed team. Ricky Stewart's coaching them very well this season. It's going to be very tough for them, but they did beat Warriors at Warriors home, which is huge. And Roosters can be a bit inconsistent, but I just expect Roosters to win this. We'll see how we go there. Robert Toya will speak about absolutely amazing the Origin. I assume he backs up this game. He's a freak. He's young. He's 21. And I think it'll be completely fine for him to back up. I mean, we'll obviously have to pay attention to, games an hour before with the late mail and stuff like that. But I'm holding him. I'm not trading him. The negative break even plus the standard of how he plays, plus they love going to the right so much, just makes me think that it's a bit of a silly move. Billy Smith, also someone who I'm holding. I don't know why. I have this random feeling that Billy Smith is going to score a try against the Canberra Raiders. That could be completely incorrect. Or maybe I just feel like he's going to have quite a solid game. It's to the point where I just think someone with a 39 break even, we don't have to force out. He could easily do what he did against Broncos again. He was running the ball a lot. I think he had like 15 to 17 runs last game, if not a bit more. But yeah, I just want to see a bit more from him now. They do have a fresh draw coming up into a bye as well. If he does get dropped and Young comes in or something like that, then I'll trade him out. But I'm just going to sit tight with him at the moment. I want to sort of reserve my trades, even though I have 2 boosts left. I boost now, I go to 19 trades. I boost again, I go to 16. It gets pretty hairy. Yeah, nothing else to talk about. Maybe Savala, we do need to mention. Really, really crazy good this game. I think he's starting to really settle in. Just obviously with 42 points, he is going to get some assists here, which he did. And very nice if you did go for him. I didn't believe in him at the start. He's a great player. And I think Roosters are coming into... Look, I'm going to say this, that I think the Roosters have a chance of being a smoky pick for this season to going deep into the finals, into the playoffs, whatever you want to call it. I think when Sam Walker returns, they're only going to be stronger. Marky Mark has made them a really exciting and fun team. This young halves pairing has been absolutely amazing. And Supercoach-wise, they're really strong as well. So yeah, I'm just going to go out and put that there. I think Sharks and Eagles are pretenders as well, because this is exactly what you see from Sharks every single season. But let's go to the last game. Another wet one, very similar to the Dolphins versus Bulldogs. I was super happy to see RTS back. Very nice with the 76 there. Got an unbelievable try. Someone who I did mention in a multitude of times and also in my pods video way back, Fogarty. He's doing an absolutely amazing job at halfback. Really strong. And the more Raiders score, the more he does better. Sebastian Chris, a strong game with 66. Tarpanay, 58. Meh. But if you did watch the game, he got penalised a ton. And I think it was Horsburgh that got sin-binned this game. But Tarpanay was really close to getting sin-binned. I don't know how he didn't. But yeah, that was something we need to pay attention to. We also thought that Horsburgh would get picked for Origin, which would maybe increase Morgan Smithies, Tarpanay even more. But that did not happen. I think Horsburgh will get chosen for second origin, and that's when I'll kind of like move him. I still haven't moved him. Hosking 43, maybe we expected a bit more there, but also it was pouring down rain. So there wasn't a huge amount of movement, but it was a great game. Metcalf 56, you live with that. Halasima 45, cool, but still hasn't done what you were looking for if you grabbed him. Egan 38, you want a bit more than that from Egan if you did go hooker. It's getting a bit rough there for you now with Egan. I think his break even gets to 80, so it's getting a bit scary for you. And Savage 12, a lot of trades came in for Savage that round. Bloody hell, that is he on -1 break even after going 12? Well, that's your only silver lining there. I don't even know how that's possible, but yeah, congratulations with that. Starling also gets a 1-match ban from doing a really, really silly tackle this game. Still gets a 51 after getting a sin bin. He's been the best hooker this season with Sandon Smith. And that's it. That is your wrap up for this entertaining, upsetting round 12. Now, let's talk about some things here coming into Origin play. I will go to my team and maybe talk about this, but Origin-wise, I am holding. So I am holding on to Haas at the moment. I'm holding on to Cleary. I'm holding on to Toya. I just think if we keep chopping and changing too much, it's going to get to the end of the season and you're going to be absolutely stranded. Pardon me, it's nearly midnight and I'm very tired, but I thought I'd get this video done. Now remember, it's 27 rounds of NRL, guys. So we are just on the brink of halfway. This is getting to the point where you need to start doing the maths on things, especially with round 15 buys as well. I think that's when everyone is going to get hurt a lot. If you see here for me 13, I'm actually pretty strong on 13. 15 is where it gets a bit crispy for me, and that's what I'm planning on making moves for at the moment because this is going to hurt me a lot. So I'm going to start planning for 15 right now in 13, and that's how I'm going to try and get ahead. 2 targets I'm going for is GUTHO. I did want to mention GUTHO. I think he's an absolute buy at the moment. I think he could go very big and could get you some huge points. If we look at him currently, I think he's had a 76 and 117 in his last 2 games. Why is it going to... There we go. I always type GUTHO in and it throws me off. So he's got a 14 break even. And he's got a 74, 71. I swear to you, let's just, might be tripping here. 628,000, mind you, with a 14 break even. The draw for them is not too shabby as well. So we're out of the round 12 bye. He doesn't, obviously, that's all gone. He comes into Newcastle at Dragons home, into Dolphins away, which should be a high scoring point game, into Sharks, which is a bit tough. We know how fullbacks do against Sharks, into a bye, into Parramatta, then into Canberra away, into Sydney and Bulldogs. So you could look at moving him around round 18, 19. But I think where he sits at the moment, he could get some very big scores. Let me know what you think in the comments about that, because I'm super curious, because I'm really, I don't know why, I'm just getting this feeling that a lot of people that held on to him are going to reap rewards now. But yeah, that's something I've been looking at. Talking about these Origin players, I think, one good thing about this is, in the New South Wales win, is that I don't think Tedesco's anywhere near being chosen unless Dylan Edwards gets randomly injured. I think if you still hold Horse, he's definitely a fine trade. Corey Horsburgh at the moment has a 64 break even, but I also do think he's a fine hold. He gets a 44 in a game where he gets sin binned. It was very wet this game. I think he's a solid 55 to 65 point player. And I know we want to move to players like Kolomonatangi, who's got a huge base in a prop role in a South team that is obviously much better, I completely warrant that. If you say I'm going horse to Kolomotangi, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, that is completely fine. And you'll see a lot of trades this week. Jenkins being traded, Tamale being traded, horse being traded. There's a lot of these things where I think people are trying to generate cash, etc. That's completely fine. I completely understand that. But yeah, I just think for me personally, you have to think about it this way. If you're making a trade now on someone who's a season keeper, i.e. you're trading out Haas to get Kolomotangi, and then you're also trading Iongi to go to like Tedesco, for example, and you've got money in the bank. If you are planning on getting Haas back, you then need to think about, one, how are you going to do that? But you need to start thinking of these trades as two-person trades, because you're not only getting that player back out, but you're looking at ways of getting them back in. So when you have 19, 18 trades left and no boosts, this is what you need to think of. Now, obviously, trades are hugely important in this game, but I'm sort of coming under the impression that, we don't always have to trade every week. Now, I'm very happy with where my team is at. I'm happy with everything that I'm seeing so far, but also I don't want to trade Haas just because he's got the price tag on him. Because what I also say to myself is, there's a reason this guy has that price tag. He's bloody good. He's absolutely amazing. And have we seen a decline in this guy? Not really, no. We've seen a decline in Broncos a bit. But if they start clicking also and things get rolling, there's two players here, Cleary and Haas, where you could really regret having traded them. Now, out of all the Origin players that have been contemplated being traded, I think Toya is definitely viable, although he has a negative break even. I completely understand that. There's a lot of money to be made in CTW. Also, Ponga, if you did that, understand. I think people like Furmore are a great hold. You can just keep them in, especially if they don't play a lot of minutes in Origin. Even Hudson Young. But I mean, this is big decisions that you're making here. Is there more value going Payne Haas out to get a Tedesco in who could get you 150 points, be a captain, which then in turn gets you 300 points? And that's a fair way of thinking it. Or thinking about it. So that's just my 2 cents. It's also getting to the point now where we've used a lot of our cash cows and we've used a lot of the cash we've made. So we've sunk them into players. And I'm finding it's, especially with my team, how am I getting to Tedesco? How am I actually getting from Iongi to GUTHO? Or Iongi to Tedesco? This is where it gets really tough. Who's going to be the player that I have to drop out that's actually going to make me money? And that's something I'm thinking about. So yeah, I didn't want to harp on that too much. I hope that doesn't confuse you anymore, but I do completely understand if you hold. Now, one thing I did want to mention, especially with Cleary, and this is the reason I'm holding him, I do think he's going to back up this game. So he goes Penrith into Newcastle. Did I get that wrong? No, sorry. Penrith into Para, into West Tigers, into bye. You could then trade him in round 15, but I think for this Para West Tigers game, it could be absolutely huge. I think he's personally a trade in this round 15. I don't think he backs up here. And then they have Bulldogs and then they have bye. And then you could look at ways of getting him back in round 19. I just think against Parramatta and West Tigers, this guy is an easy captaincy pick or a vice captaincy pick. Again, with Haas, I understand. He's got a 96 break even. He's going to lose a bit of cash for sure. But he's also the player of the match in Origin 1, which is absolutely huge. That's only going to boast to his confidence. If we do look at Broncos and who they have, they currently are coming up against Manly, Gold Coast into a bye. So again, maybe this is when we can start looking at moving these players. But also, I understand if you're getting rid of him here, because I can see exactly what you're going for and what you're doing. You're trading him out right now for basically because he's got the round 15 bye. Maybe he doesn't back up against Sharks. Maybe he does. But to me, if you're thinking about, or if you say to yourself, Haas is going to be in my team at the end of the season, I just think he's a hold. That's personally how I'm thinking. I think right now where we need to be focusing is on the fullback. So there's ways that I could maybe move Fletcher Sharp into CTW and try and make ways for Tedesco and GUTHO, or Tedesco and Drinky and stuff like that. That's when it gets a bit hairy. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. Now, let's get into some pods. Very few pods that I found that I think do deserve some warrant. And the first, I'm just going to talk about, I don't think he's a guarantee in any way, but Zach Labart, $389,600. Obviously, hasn't come into the season at the start. Just come and played his first game. Nothing crazy, only a 39-point game for 80 minutes with 25 base. However, when we go to these players like McCarthy, when we go to Sam Rani, yes, we're guaranteeing some cash, but I think in the long run, Labart will actually be a nice little play. He now does not have the round 12 bye, and he comes into basically playing until round 27, which is, until round 27, last game being 26. So they have no more buys. West Tigers, Melbourne, Dolphins, Sydney, Gold Coast, Melbourne, Bulldogs, Dolphins, St. George, Sharks, Para, Newcastle, West Tigers, Broncos. So it is a bit of up and down draw for North Queensland. It's sort of like good, bad, good, meh, good, bad, bad. So take that as you will. That's what also scares me about Drinky. I think personally the 2 fullbacks we need to be going for now is Gutho and Teddy with Pap. I just think that's the 3. I know Drinkwater should be up there. But just with their draw they're coming up, I'm also a bit scared. I mean, I am also scared not owning Drinkwater against West Tigers. That's very scary. But you don't know what Cowboys are going to come and play like. But yeah, that's just me. The next pod I want to speak about, and also I'm a bit silly they're not sort of saying, but let's talk about if they're going to be a pod, what's their ownership? Zach Labart currently a break even of 46, so nothing crazy, and in 1% of teams with 1,097 selections. So take that as you will. He's not the strongest pod, but he's someone I did think I should mention. Christian Tuipulotu, he's now back from injury. St. George, as I've said, have a really, really nice draw. So pay attention to that. If I haven't said it already, St. George now play Newcastle, Dolphins, Sharks by Para, Canberra, Sydney. So a really, really nice run there. This guy, we already know what he is and what he can do. The base is nice, averages around that 32, well, essentially 32, 32, 33 in the games before the injury. So stepped up a tiny bit there compared to the 29, 28. Points-wise, he does need the attacking stats, but we know he's capable of that, especially in the upcoming next 2 games. And we know that he can be a very, very nice pick who can have a very high ceiling. So is that how I do it? How do I spell his last name? T-U-I, sorry. T-U-I. So currently right now, because he's coming back from injury, he is sitting at 2% selections, 2% of selections, 3,763, which is very, very nice if you do want to take a bit of a gamble there. And last but not least, I think we need to talk about this guy, Katoni Katauga. I'm going to read you out some base from this guy, and you're going to be like, what the hell? So he's gone from 60 minutes to like clean 80 minutes. But the base was sitting 27, 36, 42, 44, 48, 23. And you're like, this is when they're getting dominated, by the way. Now they've started playing better footy. Base reads 45, 48, 53, 51. Priced at 505,000. Let's just make sure that's correct. 505,000 with a 29 break even coming up against Penrith. The problem only with this is they do come up against Melbourne and Bulldogs from memory. but this is someone we do need to keep a watch of. Maybe he drops a bit, then we can look at getting him. But the base is there. The base is there. This guy obviously is super coach friendly. He's also gone up 272,000 already. So that is a bit of a like, I did actually have him in an older pods video, but I thought it did warrant, and maybe we do need to talk about one more person on top of that. We'll just see first his selection. So it's 3% with 5,514 selections. And then last, I think we actually have to talk about Roger. If you watch the game against Canberra, he was very good. He also gave a really nice line break assist, which I think led to a try later in that play. Also gets a try himself. We know what he's capable of. His break even at the moment is 49. He's currently in 3% of teams with 4,447 selections. And we just know what he can do. Tackle buster, try scorer, and he's just a great player. Now, if we look at the draw for Warriors, I actually don't know why this is such bad quality, so I apologize on that because it usually wasn't like this. New Zealand Warriors come up against Souths, which is friendly. Then Sharks away bye, then Penrith, Broncos bye, West Tigers, Newcastle. So it's not that bad. And he could be a sneaky little pod that kind of gets you that 50 to 70 each week. That's just plugging away, doing everything that you would like. Talking about the preview now of this week, I'm going to talk about some vice captains and captaincy picks. I think this is, for some reason, I get the feeling that Pappenhausen isn't going to be massive. I'll mostly say that and eat my words, but I'm really leaning towards GUTHO and Teddy this week. I still haven't done my trades yet, but I think it's time to move on Iongi. I'm super scared to do it against Penrith, but I also think Penrith will have a really good game considering the Origin win, and they'll just have like pure momentum from that. I could be completely wrong again because they are versing, two players from the same Origin team, Moses and Lomax. But I think this is also all late mail dependent. Like if Cleary doesn't play, like he gets removed from late mail in the late mail, I'll have to take an emergency. I think maybe I'll trade. I don't think so though. But yeah, that's something I'll need to look at. Iongi against Panthers, but then they verse Melbourne and Bulldogs is scary. So I think it's getting to that point where I need to move him. Whether I hold him for one more, then move him next week and then go from there. But I really want GUTHO this week against Newcastle into Dolphins. It just feels right to me. So I wonder if I just go GUTHO instead of Kolomotungi and I gain some money and just get Colo next week and then plan to get Tedesco the following. That's where my head is sort of going with it all, because I can do that because I can move Fletcher Sharp up. If you have Drinky, this is definitely a vice captaincy week. It feels like I think it's going to be a fullback week where things are kind of crazy for them. But then you also have Nathan Cleary versus Parramatta. The only unfortunate thing here is that they play the second last game. So if you do have Cleary and Tedesco, I think personally you go vice captain Cleary and you go Tedesco as your captain. The reason being, we obviously know that Tedesco won't drop out, but if Cleary drops out, at least you're going to have that guarantee of your captain playing. You could go into something else where you do have a guarantee and you're just like, look, I've got Drinky and Teddy, vice captain Drinky, go Teddy as your captain, and hopefully Queensland just absolutely dominate West Tigers, but you never know. But there's some very, very solid picks this week. I'm very interested to see how the score goes for Hopewadi against Broncos. But again, I expect Haas to play. Will it be reduced minutes? Most probably likely. Maybe that's why a lot of people are trading. And also, let me know what you think. Do you think I should trade out Haas to get Tedesco and GUTHO in? Because I can do it. I think I also have to trade out Jenkins. Also talking about holds, I think I am going to hold Jenkins. They verse the Eels and West Tigers. I think or, you know, we've seen this guy go 100 before. I don't know. Call me crazy. Maybe this is a silly play. I still want to hold Tamale because I absolutely love Canberra's draw as well. Maybe I'm reading too much into the draw, but he only has a 44 break even, and we know what he can do as well. He's still scoring tries. I don't know. This is where my mind is going, and I'm going to hold Lockie Galvin. I've had him since the start, since round one. He's just plotted and sat there, and whatever goes. He's a great player, and I think at Bulldogs, they'll get more attack, and he'll hopefully get a nicer score as well. I think that is it. I think we've done the video. 45 minutes on the dot at the moment for me. So, yeah, tell me what you're thinking of doing. Hopefully I haven't missed out on anything too crazy, especially Origin-wise. But let me know if I have. Also, thanks for supporting the channel. Please like and subscribe. And yeah, just even ask questions in the comments like, what do you think of this trade? I'm happy to answer whatever. And I hope I've helped you. I hope I've helped you because I definitely haven't helped myself. I still don't know what I'm doing. And first game is tomorrow, right? No, Friday. Thank God. So I have one more day to ponder. All right, guys. Take care. Good luck. Thanks for watching. And sorry for the late video, but I thought, hey, do it after the Origin. It makes a bit more sense. Much love. Take care. Good luck with your footy. And hey, I'm going for the top 1K. That's my goal. Peace. Much love.